Welcome back from that short break. It's exactly 36 minutes past the hour of 8. My name is Shivana and you are just in time for our views where we discuss real life situations and give our views in relation to what we're discussing. But also the beauty about this particular segment is that you can be a part of it by heading to our Twitter platform, and that is at SEETV Uganda. Leave your comment down below and we shall be able to read it. Well, as today we are discussing a very interesting conversation, but first allow me introduce the ladies. And to my right, yes, to my right, I have Apollo Sarah as well as Agi Uwase. Good morning, ladies. It's a beautiful Tuesday, I presume. Yes, it's Good Tuesday. Morning. I'm losing count of days. Good morning.
It looks like
a Saturday?
Impending rain today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's impending to rain.
So today we are going to be discussing a very interesting conversation, and today we're going to be looking at parents asking for forgiveness. Yes, mommy, daddy, guardian, I don't know, whoever it is in a powerful position we are talking about. Is it ever okay for parents to ask for forgiveness, or does this weaken their authority? Now, as a second born in a family of 4, I can say that raising children is not really the easiest task there is. However, parents aren't always perfect, and according to an article that I came across on parents.com, there are times when parents should apologize to their children without losing their respect. Now, this particular article goes on to say that when parents use hurtful words out of anger, frustration, or even just being in a terrible, foul mood, they should be able to say sorry to avoid inflicting children with long-lasting emotional damage. But before we dive into the conversation with the ladies, there is a very interesting video that I came across by Sesebat, and I think it's very important that we take a look at it. Please watch our very first video. Well, as we wait for the video, ladies, my first question would be, do you believe apologizing to children, would you say it is right, or does it weaken your authority as a parent or as an adult?
I think it's very right, and you owe your child an apology when you are in wrong. And I mean, if we can apologize to strangers, we can apologize to our colleagues and to our friends and to everybody else. Why can't we apologize to children? I hate the notion when people say, why do you treat me like a child? It just goes to show that we treat children very badly because we think they don't know any better. Children have a mind of their own, and regardless of how young or how small their understanding of a situation is, they still have an opinion, they still have feelings to it. And I think it's very important. And as a parent, it's very important to ask yourself, am I inserting fear or respect into my child? Am I teaching my child the valuable lessons? And a lot of parents may say that I do not apologize to children because we were raised by parents who were raised in an era where they had to respect hierarchy. The elders know best. Don't ever question them. Don't ever call them out. They don't owe you anything. Matter of fact, you need to be grateful that you are even born. The Bible says the 5th commandment is honor your parents, mother and father, and you will live longer and have a better life in this world. But how many parents...
What's the other one also, that parents do not expirate your children also? Yeah, that one, very important. They like to leave it out.
They leave it out.
Like to leave it out.
Yeah. It's very convenient, right?
Yes.
But you see, how many people, all of us have experienced some sort of trauma because of our parents in one way or the other. Some children have been abused, physically, sexually, emotionally, mentally, and we don't even know this is happening because society tells you do not question your parents. Religion tells you do not question your parents. You understand? It's a system that has been in place for a very long time. And now we are grown adults walking around with hurt children on the inside. And yet our parents could have just apologized. The hurtful things. When you're dealing with low self-esteem, where do you think it's stemming from? It's not from your friends. It's because your parents, your mother or your father kept on calling you ugly, kept on telling you that you're not good enough, whatever the case may be. But those are probably extreme cases. But I'm just saying it's important to apologize to your child. As parents, and I do this sometimes, I catch myself sometimes when I make excuses as opposed to owning up to my actions. Sometimes my son calls me out and he's like, Mommy, you came home late, you missed doing homework with me. So my natural response as a mom is to go on the defense, and I'm like, but I'm
work.
working. You understand? But I have taught him to also hold me accountable. He's like, no, mommy, we are supposed to do homework together. I like it when you help me. And then I have to, of course, get it together. Yes, I was working, but I am sorry I hurt your feelings, because that moment is important for him, because he doesn't see me the whole day or doesn't spend enough time with me. So if something is important to your child, even if you think it's very trivial, it's important to them. Even if it is like, I am not going to eat until mommy comes home. It's important, because for them that is their bonding moment, and you ought to apologize to them when you trivialize something that is very important to them, because this is going to come back and bite you. By the way, children, it will come back and bite you. You will be 85 years old on your bed and you're refusing, I'm not going to eat until my child comes home, and it's like, but I'm working. You get and you don't want that. So it's important to apologize to your children.
Well, Aki, before you come on the video is ready, but even before we watch the video, I will say this. I have, first of all, never been a parent before, but I will say that growing up in a family where my mom and dad realized that once in a while they made mistakes and apologized to us as children in their care, for me, I would say, made me understand that, hey, guess what? Even adults make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that is something I got to understand. So it's very important that as parents or people who have children in your care, you learn to apologize when you have gone wrong. But Aggie, before you come in with your response, let's take a look at the video that I wanted us to watch earlier.
Hey Dave, what are you still doing? Yes, Mom. Can you stop what you're doing and you come and lay your bed? Mom, I know. Dave, I'm talking to you. Can you stop playing the video game and you come and lay your bed right now? It looks so messed up. Don't come and lay the bed. I'm still finishing up my game. Dave, can you come and lay your bed right now? Mom, did you just shout at me? I'm sorry. I raised my voice at you. My son, don't cry. I'm so sorry. I lost my temper, okay? I'm sorry, son. And I'm going to tell Daddy that you shouted at me. Don't tell him. I'm so sorry, my son, okay? From the bottom of my heart, I'm so sorry. Can you find a place to forgive me? Okay, after playing, you come and lay your bed, okay? I love you. I love you too. Kakembo, sakugambo yalango bulidi bongo ovuddemu. Wanji mama. Lebeza nyebe ebimwa tompulidde. Nja kupa chulo oluyi. Ono ina omukozi wa kwaliro buli. Mama mbadde ngenda kujja mbwale. Ate no kigamba kisi. Ate bonira. Gambye kibonira. Ozo nyacho nya fanta. Kwako. Ogudda kwegamba ng'ekitoberanga mwana mulungi owulidde. Ne gwe nudda awo n'ozimba omutwe n'okaana n'omwana olinganga kaana n'omwana omuto. Kwata sweet. Enkya ngenda kutwala e Kampala owulidde? Ngenda kugulira n'engoye. Yagala donati. Kwata.
It's the pulling out of the sweet out of the bra for me. That is what killed me. And the donut, like, why are you giving me a donut? Can you buy me like chicken, Aggie? So back to you. The question was, yes, parents apologizing.
What if a parent couldn't afford the chicken? I mean,
but you afforded to slap me and video games.
I mean, this is the hand, it's in my hand. It's like I have to go somewhere and buy it. But anyway, in relation to parents apologizing, I believe it's very imperative that parents always apologize to their children in case they've done something wrong, because they always talk about charity begins at home. Your child has to see you. If you have done something wrong and for sure you know you're in wrong, ask them for forgiveness. It doesn't take anything away from you. I think when it comes to the African society and African parents from back in the day, I think it has come to change now. Parents couldn't express their love, couldn't express their emotions to their children because I don't know whether it was the fear of thinking their children are going to be spoiled or something. Or maybe trying to ensure that children are very submissive and fearful of their parents. Like, imagine growing up in fear of your parent rather. So for me, I think it's okay for parents to apologize to their children for as long as you've done something wrong. And also, I talked about charity begins at home, but sometimes we have to walk the talk and not just talk it. You can't be telling your child to apologize to another child if they've done something wrong, but when you do something wrong to them, you don't apologize to them. So your actions have to speak louder than your words. That's what I would think. Because if we have to teach our children to learn from us, if charity begins at home, then it has to start with our actions as parents. And from that, our children will learn. I mean, we could say all the words. You could tell your child, apologize to the other person. They will. But if they need to learn it more from the actions as a parent. So I think for me, it doesn't take anything away from you as a parent to apologize to your child. And
Sarah,
it does not weaken your authority in any way.
Yes.
Sarah, you are a parent. You're a mother to a very lovely boy. I would
Yes.
like to understand. Help us break this dynamic. Why is it so hard for a parent to come out, as from what people would say, from their high horse, calm down and apologize and admit, especially when they are often in wrong, when they've honestly shouted you out, even if you're frustrated? I mean, why take out your anger on your children? And then why is it so hard for a parent, a mom or a dad, to say, you know what, I shouted at you, yes, I had my own issues I was dealing with, but I am sorry, it shall not happen again? Why is it so hard? Is it because as a parent we do not owe children an apology, or does it weaken our authority as parents?
Well, parents see themselves as the authoritative figure. Let me give you an example. How many times will your boss apologize to you?
Never. I'm thinking.
You see? Because when you come to work, they believe that whatever punishment or when they lash out or become tough on you, it's for
Your own good.
For your own good, because they know better. Same thing with parents. Parents feel they have more experience, they have been here longer, and they know better. But then again, also it goes back to our upbringing, the hierarchy, especially in African traditional society, which has been passed down, and even some parents in now this new era are still struggling with. There's the hierarchy. Don't question your elders. There are many African proverbs and sayings in every tribe, every language across Africa, or every black community, that says that your parents, after God, fear your parents. All right? So more or less, parents are God on earth. So that is how parents carry themselves. And they feel that because they provide for you the bare minimum, that is shelter, housing, clothing, they take you to school, you owe them. Your parent does not owe you, because they feel like your child, as when they are a child, cannot offer you anything. That is why they have they get too comfortable to raise their voice. They can show you their ugly side. They can even beat their children, abuse their own children, because the child is not, what are you going to do about it? Where are you going to go? And you understand? And even though a child goes on and reports, the parent is going to say, but I am the parent, I can do what. You have had when some parents are like, I brought you into this world and I can take you out. You have had things like that. I'm sure you have had
Crazy,
that,
but
at least.
yes, we have had these things.
Because parents see themselves as the authority, and this is my child, I can do whatever I want. Also another saying that a lot of people use, I can do whatever I want. So that is where the big problem is. And parents don't understand that all their actions that they do to their child are going to come back and bite them eventually. Like the tables are going to reverse. I saw a pictured meme of this man and his son. The son would always come and say, Daddy, play with me, not now. Daddy, homework, not now. Daddy, see, not now. Now this shows the reverse time. The parent is old, the child has grown old, the child is now an adult. And the parent is like, please come and see me, not now.
Now
I'm
it's your
sick,
turn,
not now. You understand, eh? Apologizing is very important, but I think it's also important to know when to apologize and when not to apologize. If you're instilling discipline or trying to teach your child a lesson, I think you should not apologize from it, because when you apologize for it, then you have more or less watered down and washed away and erased what you are trying to teach your child.
Like, you mean after like you have spanked your child and then you're like, oh, sorry.
No, this is exactly, don't do that. For instance, if you caught your child cheating, stealing.
But they are crying. Aren't you supposed to be the giver of love?
There are consequences.
But they have learned their lesson.
You have to teach them consequences, because now when you punish them and then again you're the one who is there to apologize and pamper them and say, okay, because now when you're apologizing, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. Now your child has not taken away how serious the lesson is or their action is. You understand? What you can do instead of apologizing and whatnot is you reaffirm what you are trying to teach them. For instance, you catch them stealing. Okay? They get into trouble. And maybe your form of discipline is to chap at their bum-bums. Okay? And now you have a wailing toddler. And then now that you go and again, okay, I'm sorry, baby, you've overcried. It's okay. The child is going to go back and do it. You have to teach them that there are consequences. So don't double back on your punishment.
I think
it's like when you get arrested for something, you have committed an offense, and then now the judge, after you have gotten your sentence, then now the judge is like, okay, you know what? I think I was too harsh. Yeah. So you can go, right? But don't do it again.
The judge is saying, I was too harsh.
I was too harsh. Okay, I thought about it. I think I was too harsh. You can go. You're going to go back and do it, because you're going to think that you're going to get off again. Okay. So when you are punishing your child, and it has to be a good reason as to why you're punishing your child. Don't come from work with your frustrations and then start abusing your children. Don't do that. But you have to, when it's a punishment, reaffirm so that they understand the reason as to why and learn the lesson.
Briefly, yes. I also think the other reason it's because the notion that parents are always right, even when they are proven wrong.
Or are they just afraid of not being the authority in a home?
Yes, that notion is there and it stands, but I think it takes away a lot, because if you're the kind of person that owns up to a mistake, it instills some kind of character in your child to know that it's okay to make mistakes and to own up and apologize for them. So if you're the parent who is always right and never being taking accountability of the fact that you have done some things wrong, then your children are going to miss out on that. So for me, I still think it's very important for parents.
So listening to what both you ladies have mentioned is that it's important and it's imperative for parents to apologize. Yes. We have agreed on that. Now, Aggie, why is it important for a parent to apologize to a child? On the side of the child, what does it teach them?
Just like I already mentioned, it teaches them, it instills character in them, and also to know that to own up to their mistakes. Yes. Now, if you are a parent and have done something wrong to your child, and you own up to them and say, I am sorry, they will learn from that. And children really learn from what they see more than what they hear. So if you have apologized, then they'll know, oh, okay, if I make a mistake, I'm supposed to own up and I'm supposed to apologize for it. That is important, and that for me, I think that's enough.
Okay. How about you, Sarah? Why do you think it is important for parents to apologize to their children, just briefly?
One, it shows the children that parents are also open to learning. Parents can also make mistakes. And like she said, it teaches the child to have integrity and also to be respectful, and also learn that there are consequences for your actions. So it's about taking accountability. But again, as a parent, I'm saying, when you apologize, it has to be necessary. If it's important to your child that you didn't do something that you promised, I need you to have to understand and level with them, as opposed to making excuses. Don't make excuses. Learn to differentiate between when to apologize, when to not make excuses, and when to own up to your actions.
Absolutely. So now let's look at some of the pointers as to why should parents apologize to their children when in wrong. And these are some of the pointers that were given at parent.com. Well, the first one is that it models empathy, honesty, as well as courage. The next is that it shows it's okay to make mistakes. No one is perfect. So it's important for your child to know that everyone makes mistakes and that no one is perfect. The next is that it sets boundaries and expectation for what's okay and what isn't in your relationship. Well, it also builds trust and respect. Respect is actually important. Very many parents do not know that their children deserve respect, but it's very important that you respect your children, because in turn, your children will also respect you. You cannot treat your children like trash and expect them to treat you any other way. What goes in is what they give out. The next is that it fights feelings of shame, anxiety, and confusion on both sides. Teaches kids how to reflect and take responsibility. It also allows children to learn and how to forgive, and also validates your child's feelings. Now, before we come to the next question, there's a second video that I saw. Very interesting. Not Sesebat this time, but it is another exciting one. Please take a look.
Parents, your kids do not owe you loyalty just because you their parent. Like, real talk. You can't treat them like trash and expect for them to constantly give you love and affection. Like, that doesn't make sense. You get out what you put in. So if you treating your kids like dog trash, please expect for that to come back around. For real. We're animals. Self-preservation is key. Think about it. Apologize where you need to. Air hugs and cyber kisses.
Self-preservation is key. What you give your children is what they will bring out. Finally, ladies, as we wrap up this conversation, so in what way should a parent apologize to their child? Of course, please do not mention that give them a donut. No. What should be the right steps for a parent to apologize to their child?
Acknowledge what you have done wrong, and don't make excuses. That is it. Don't but I was busy working, but the money that buys your toys doesn't grow on trees. No. Acknowledge, I am sorry, I didn't make it, I didn't come to VD. I know it's important to you. However, I will make sure I come the next day. I'm sorry. Please tell me how you did. How is school? Don't make excuses. Own up to what you have done.
And for me also, I would think word of mouth, very important. You know, there are parents who will try to apologize, but because they really don't want to apologize and say, I'm sorry, they feel it takes like their ego away or something. So they don't use their words, they try to go around in circles. Admit it, say, I am wrong because of this and this, like make it known. The reason why you are apologizing, it's because I did this and that is why I'm apologizing. I am sorry, I'll, do better, whatever it is. So just apologize, use your words, don't move around in circles.
Absolutely. And always remember, the tip is that apologies aren't about placing or playing the blame game. They are about making amends and finding a solution to the situation at hand. And that wraps up the conversation that we had for you this morning on Our Views. Good morning.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Sunrise at Sea this morning. It's been a beautiful, show. We had amazing conversations. We talked about NABE examinations 2022. We had the public relations officer here, and she ascertained and, gave all the clarifications that were needed in regard to the timetables. And also we did wrap up the conversation, all the show with... We've been talking about parents apologizing. Sometimes you have to let go of your ego, let go of that, authoritarian kind of parenting. It never works out in the long run. It only instills fear in your children rather than love. So yes, make it a point. When you make a mistake, apologize to your child. It's okay to apologize. And besides that, it's you instilling good character and integrity in your child. That's very important. Well, that is all we had for you on the show this morning. Keep watching CTV and don't blink.